Yes, Alhamdulillah. And I also request your friends and family members to get join this course as like this is an advanced course which is an way to your cloud industry. This is a starting step towards your cloud industries. So now the cloud industries are booming in a huge way, and we are getting a good salaries and good packages for cloud administrators or cloud DevOps and DevOps administrator and cloud security engineers. There are multiple streams when you talk about a cloud, and this is also a first step to your AI generation. Like coming future is completely on cloud, on automation as well as AI. That is nothing but robotic and robotic science and synthetic science. So we have uh, nowadays the starting platform will be in cloud. Then it will be easy for everyone, to those who are experienced or those who have familiar with all the cloud related services. They can easily can get into an AI platform. So okay, so today we will be discussing about what the course we are going to learn and how it's getting benefited to us, and what are the advantages of learning this course, and or what would be the market, and is it good for us to learning this course, and how much effort we need to keep and keep on this. Okay, just a minute, guys. Okay, so let me present you my screen. So we are covering from a basic concept that is called as Azure Fundamentals. That is an AZ 900 course. So this course is nothing but it's a design to demonstrate you have a foundational knowledge of Azure based cloud services. So what do you do? What do you mean by a cloud services? Anyone can answer. So what is exactly a cloud services? Anyone? I'm expecting someone, those who can answer this my question. What are the cloud services? What do you mean by cloud services? Okay, okay, fine, no issues. So the term and the name itself, it says as a cloud. Cloud is nothing but uh, somewhere you are sitting in India and you are able to see the cloud, and you are sitting in US and you are able to see the cloud. Means that's correct. Cloud services are not available on-prem. Okay, that's correct. So what exactly it's an what who are That's right. That's correct, Azhar. So we have an auto scalability and hardware will be managed by the cloud providers. All right, that's correct. So if you talk about a cloud providers, there are a number of cloud providers. So if I talk about a only a cloud provider, not only Azure, there is another cloud provider called as AWS, and there is a Google Cloud, there is an Oracle Cloud, there is an VMware Cloud, and etc. and etc. There are multiple cloud service providers. They provide their cloud services in the form of infrastructure. So, and these services, to understand these services, the advantages of these services, the first advantage of using these services is nothing but it's very easy to accessible. Yes, Wahid.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam, bhai.
Sir, cloud is actually called is a on-demand, you know, services available for computer purpose.
Right, that's correct.
Where you can
So it's an on-demand services which has been available for the customers so that they can utilize it. So it's nothing but what you mean by on-demand. On-demand is nothing but you are requesting some infrastructure and that will be get provided. So like that, the first topic we will discuss about a fundamentals and what are the fundamentals of our cloud, and that entirely covers our topic called as like uh, Azure fundamentals. So with the students, those who are new to this background and those who are not familiar with the cloud environment, those who are not uh, uh, don't know about the clouds platform and the cloud terminology also can learn this, and that type of services are learning this course will benefited them to in their real time jobs what they are currently doing. But if they want to switch to a cloud network, and it also helps them to learn very easily, very quickly about upgraded topics or future topics. So first we will be focusing on Azure fundamentals, and then we will be covering an Microsoft Azure Administrator Associate. That is nothing but it's an AZ104. It's a certification code. It's a Microsoft certified course. So that we will be covering it. So this is nothing but the Azure administration implements and manage and monitor identity governance, storage, compute, and virtual network and cloud environment. So it's nothing but like it covers like entire concept of storage, compute, network, and to monitor all these resources you require a monitoring tools. So and the entire thing is built and configured in a single console, so that from using it from accessing a single console you can manage entire things. So the Azure administrator will provide provision sizing, monitoring, and adjust the resources as appropriate. So as per the requirement, Azure administrator need to modify the things, modify the resources, and use to resize the infrastructure. And like here we are not discussing step by step module. Just we are, I'm going to show you about your step by step module, but we are not covering, like we are not dealing like step by step module. Why? Because there are some topics which is only related to an EC2 or only related to virtual machines, and related to that there are some storages and all. So we will cover entire syllabus, but not in a form of module, but we will be covering as which are interrelated. Like for example, like if I create a virtual machine, if I create a computer require an storage. So you need, the next topic is nothing but be a storage. So the computer also have different types of technology in your Azure, that is called as server and serverless application servers and etc and etc. So so that we will be covering one by one. So but the entire things what we will be covering, that's what I want to demonstrate it today. Okay. And then the roadmap for your Azure 900. So these are the topics what we will be covering in your Azure 900. Is the first your Azure architects, regions, availability zones, and resource groups, and there are some of the core services which is called as your compute, like virtual machines, app services, functions. If you go for networking, it's a VNet, VPN gateway, and if you can go for storage, blob storage, and disk storage, and file storage. So like that, this is a basic concepts and basic fundamentals which we are covering out. And as for the security and privacy and compliance, So we are also covering an Azure Security Center, that is called as a Defender for a Cloud. So which is an Microsoft proprietary security center. Like when once you install your operating system, Microsoft operating system, the default security or default antivirus is nothing but Microsoft Defender. So this the same has been integrated in your Azure Cloud, and from there you can manage and you can deploy your what you can say, um, your you can manage your managers security, you can manage your security, and you can also use your compliance report. So and next is nothing but we will be discussing about an Azure Key Vault and Azure governance policies and blueprints. So Microsoft privacy and compliance certifications, and then the major concept is nothing but a pricing and an SLA. So the billing concept, as like it's an uh, the cloud is nothing but it's an paid based services, but here so everything is paid. So whatever the service you are using is entirely is billed. So you also need to manage your billing alerts and all. So that is nothing but will be discussing about cost management tools and pricing calculators and SLAs and service life cycle. And the next major important topic is nothing but Azure management. Like there are multiple resources, multiple tools, or multiple applications, you can call, so from which you can manage your Azure resources, like by using an Azure portal. You are using a CLI, you are using a PowerShell for your automation scripts, you are using a Cloud Shell, you are using an ARM templates. So these are all are nothing but it's a management tools from which you are going to manage your Azure resources. And as well as like Azure Advisor, monitor and search service health, what we will be discussing about this Azure management. So next is the major important topic, that is nothing but an Active Directory, that is an Azure Active Directory, which is very much popular and which is getting upgraded by day and day by day. So like Azure Active Directory, this is was first it was introduced in 2020, sorry 2000, in the year of 2000. So in the year of from 2000 to till from 25 years, so it's created a remarkable journey in the Active Directories. So by upgrading their services and upgrading their protocols, and also it's a good future by which it's nothing but maintaining your Active Directory. It maintains your user information and your like you can call as software related information. So there is some differences between your local Active Directory and your Azure Active Directory. So that we will be discussing further. So what is the differences and your authentication and authorizations of SSO, that is single sign on, and MFA, and role based access controller, that is RBAC roles. So which are very much important for your day-to-day activities, and conditional accesses. So what do you mean by conditional accesses? Like you can apply conditions to a particular accesses, saying that this condition need to be matched, then only you provide an access. So just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. So next we will be starting our journey with our Azure Administration Associate, that is nothing but AZ104. So here, So here, like in Azure AZ104, so we will be discussing about that nothing but introduction to Azure and the cloud concepts. So overview of Microsoft Azure and rules of an Azure administrator, and then we have a free account that we can create a Azure free account, and by using an Azure free account, we can use and manage the services on your on your labs, so you can try as much as the labs on your free account, as the Microsoft is providing $200 as a free account for every free account that we will see how we can create an Azure free account and how we can start playing with the services. So like managing an identity and governance, that is Azure Active Directory and Azure AD and rollback accesses and Azure AD join, Azure AD connect, and administrative unit and customer roles, subscription and management groups, and Azure policies and blueprints, and resource locking and tagging. So these everything comes under managing an Azure identity and governance. And then we will be discussing about an implementation of storages. Like as I said, each and every cloud services majorly concentrating on compute, storage, and networking. And after that, it's the next part is your security. The security comes with your network security and your user security as your identity security, and then it's a monitoring. So majorly concentrate on three major areas, where one is nothing but your compute, one is your core service which is called as your compute, storage, and network, and then next is networking services, and then next security services, which provides your security, that is identity security, as well as your application security. So and then it will be next coming into a monitoring part. So you can use a monitoring and automation. So how you are going to automate your task and all. So this everything comes under your uh, cloud service providers, who provides all these features to your customers. Okay. So next is nothing but blob storage, file storage, and uh, table storage, and Azure files and Azure file syncs, and secure access to the storage, that is called a shared access signature, SAS, and access key, and Azure AD storage replication options, like we have a local redundancy, and global, and RA and ZRA. So what is this all? We will discussing about this, and we will also discuss about storage, Azure storage exposures. So how you can explore by using an Windows Explorer, you can access your Azure storages. So how you are going to manage that, everything will be discussed. And it's nothing but will be moving to the next model, deploying and managing Azure compute resource. So where we will be managing our virtual machines, we will be creating an virtual machines. We are going to play with the virtual machines, and we are going to configure it, and we are going to build, and we are going to run our web applications on these virtual machines. So we will be also seeing how you can minimize and maximize your virtual machine capacities, and your sizing and availability sets and scale sets. So custom images and shared image galleries, and Azure app services and app service plans, and container instances, and Azure Kubernetes overview. We will be discussing about an automate deployment with ARM templates and BCAP. Okay. Next is we have networking concepts. It's virtual network and IP addressing subnet and network interfaces, network security group, NSG, and Azure DNS, private and public DNS zones. So VNet pairing and service endpoints, and Azure Western, and just in time VM access. This is a very good feature which the Microsoft has introduced, like just in time VM access. So it's nothing but it's a very secure feature, where we can provide and only access to a particular VM, a particular user, for a limited period of time. So that is a very good feature. It's that is nothing but just in time VM access. So that we will see how we are going to configure it, and how we are going to provide an access to users. Okay. Then the another topic is nothing but load balancing and network traffic management. So this is a very important topic to understand here. So load balancing is very much challenging and very much used in real time scenarios. So why? Because our our infrastructure is based on our cloud platform, and the cloud is, it's nothing but a huge traffic comes into my cloud, and to balance my traffic and to distribute a equal resources to a particular services. So that is nothing but you're balancing your environment on your cloud, that you need to understand about like Azure load balancing, load balancers, and you also need to understand about like internal and public. So what are the balances for your internal and public load balancer and your private load balancers. Next is Azure Application Gateway and Web Application Firewall, WAF, and Azure Front Door versus Traffic Manager, Azure Firewall and Azure Network Watcher, and troubleshooting the network related issues. Next part is nothing but your monitoring part, that you will be learning how you are going to create the alerts and create the uh, monitoring related tasks. And you can also use by Azure Service Health and Azure Backup and Site Recovery, how you are going to create. And the most important topic, which most of the companies are currently using it, so without that no company is uh, utilizing the Azure services. And this is a free of cost, like update management with Azure automation. So what do you mean by update management? Like you need to update your patches, and this service is completely free from your Azure, and you need not to pay any charges for these services. Why? Because it's a security updates which provides, means which your all the servers will be get securely updated by using the patch management, what we can say as a patch management, which is very much important for each and every company to install the latest and update patches. Next is Azure Security Center and Defender for Cloud, Secure Score and compliance assessment, and Azure Key Vault, security keys and certification, and Microsoft Entra ID, and conditional access, identity protection, identity product and MFA, and privilege identity management, and secure your workload access with a private endpoint. So then next is managing and cost preference. That is nothing but it's a very much important topic which we need to learn. It's Azure cost management and billing, resource optimization strategies, and Azure reservations and saving plans, and monitoring performance and usages. So like these are the contents and details what we are going to learn in your Azure course. Yes, definitely we will have a practical sessions only. Azure, like we are not covering an theoretical part more. So I missed to tell you this point, but we are focusing more on practical rather than theoretical. So if in our 2 hours of session, at least more than 1.5 hours will be having a practical session, and we will have a half an hour of theory. Then based upon the related topic, we will have some theory, then we will directly jump into practical sessions. And I also want all of the participants, those who are joining the schedule, okay, joining the course, they need to do the labs in their free time, or in their own environments, so that if they is like this course is not like if you are attending 1.5 hour of course, 1.5 hour class, and you are learning some few things and leaving off, and after that you are coming for the next day and you are listening few more topics and leaving off. So you will not get perfect in this course, but by using like this. So you need to spend a lot number of time, or lot amount of time on this course by doing different types of scenarios. Like I will be discussing about only a one example. Like I will show you the functionality, and I will show you the process how you are going to tackle with. Like for example, let me take one example. Like I want to run a script, so I will show you how you are going to build a script, and how you are going to upload the script, and how you are going to trigger the script, and how you are going to get the output of a script, output of a script, right? So this is nothing but a function, and I will explain you about the process. But the script contains so many types of informations. So maybe your storage information, maybe your network information, or maybe your log information. So that is your task, that you need to specify. You need to think in a different way, and you need to dig into the subject, and you need to learn more new things. Okay, so this is what our sessions are, a maximum. So we are covering most of them like this only. Okay, correct. Okay, let's move forward to the cloud computing course. So it's a brief introduction for all of them, those who have uh, previously listened these topics. So it's a brief introduction, and the person those who are new, it's new to them. Okay, so we will be starting with introduction to the cloud computing. So like this is the differences between like on-prem versus cloud. So what will happen if I will go with the on-prem? I think Azhar, you can explain well about on-prem. Why? Because you are currently working on on-prem environment, and you are trying to move to a cloud environment. Is it I'm correct, Azhar? Okay. On-prem versus cloud. In an on-prem development, all services are running and managed and maintained with an organization on their own hardware and servers. And on-prem setup required in-house server hardware and software license, integration capability, and ID employees on hand to support and manage potential issues. And some businesses may choose to do this due to security and compliance reason as well. So what is on-prem means you require a physical data center, and you need a physical servers that need to be purchased, and that is nothing but an investment cost. It's a special investment when you want to establish, or when you want to create a company, or when you want to launch a new product. Then you require a new server, and for that new server you require a space, uh, you require a power, you require a network connectivity, you require a switch access port, and all these things are required if you are going for an on-prem. But what happened if you go for a cloud? So cloud is nothing but it's a simple thing. You need not to worry anything. You need not to buy anything directly. You can directly just nothing but you have an application. Like I say, let me take one example. Like I am a developer. I want to publish my site. I want to use some a small scale business that is called as a e-commerce business within my area. So like I have most of the customers in my area. Like right now, let me take an Hyderabad region, and Hyderabad region has I have a number of customers in a Hyderabad region where I can deliver my products. So I will create a site. I will go and build a site, and I will start distributing. I will start deploying my site in the cloud environment. So and there I can choose and conditional access, saying that the persons from an Hyderabad can able to access the site. So then the must my challenge is where I need to host my site. So it should, if my customers in Hyderabad, then definitely I will host my site at Hyderabad. It's not I will not host at US, right? So if my customers are in Hyderabad, I will be hosting the site in US. It will be very difficult for them to access it. So definitely I will host my site in Hyderabad region or Hyderabad area. So that is nothing but it's a cloud environment or cloud area where you does not require any capital investment. Just you can go and you can just, you need only a 2 rupees of investment. Like you need to create and open a new account of an Azure and you start deploying it. So once there is an access, once the users access your sites, then automatically it will be get business to you. Then at that point you will pay, you are going to pay to the Azure. So this was made as uh, cloud as a popular works on a different types of pricing module, where the most efficient and most reliable and most successful model is pay as you go. So pay as you go is nothing but this is a model where the customer is going to pay for only the resources which has been utilized. So this is another major important. And the third important thing is nothing but it can be accessible from anywhere in the world. So if the user is sitting in India, you can access his infrastructure, he can access his resources. And if the user traveled, or if the client traveled to an US, and from there, sorry, if the customer traveled to an US, and from there also he can access their um, resources. So it's nothing but it's these are the three few of the major points which made the cloud as so popular. And the second and another point is nothing but high availability. So which is a very much important point of your Azure cloud, or not only the cloud computing, where you will have an high availability of your application. It's nothing but it's, you can call as 99.9% of 99.9% of your availability of your application. So it's nothing but like there is a no downtime. So it's a fraction of seconds of downtime, that even though the user, those who are accessing your site, could not recognize there is a downtime. How it's possible? That is not possible on on-prem environment, but definitely it is possible on cloud platform. So I think most of them are using Flipkart and Amazon and some e-commerce sites. So whenever they launch as an offer, automatically the traffic to a website increases. So there, what they will do is they will use a load balancers or auto scaling technology, where it will scale your infrastructure by using an auto load balancer. If the load is high, then automatically the scaling will increase your servers. Okay, so in this format, this load balancer and scaling works, but that is not possible on your on-prem environment. Why? Because if my traffic is high, then directly I cannot come and build a new server, and I cannot attach a new server to my environment, right? So that is not possible in your on-prem environment, but this is possible on your cloud environment. So these are the few of the benefits where people are going for the cloud and moving towards the cloud. And one of the major feature is nothing but cloud is providing a high security for their customers by using an cyber security gateways and cyber security engineers. They are monitoring your 24 by 7 each and every packet which transfer into your cloud. So cloud computing, the architecture of a cloud computing, like you can see the architecture of a cloud computing, where we have servers, virtual desktops, and software platform, application and storage data, and that are connected to an internet. So that is our internet zone, and from there your mobile, laptop, printers, and desktops are accessing through a switch and router. So that is nothing but it's a server. Cloud computing is an approach for a compute services over the network and providing access to a storage, server, database, networking, software, analytics, application, and other resources on the demand. So these sources are typically, as I said, it's a paper use basis. So it's enable like it's paper access. So cloud compute requires a service providers that's own and host your physical compute resources. So that is nothing but SPS. So service providers. So service providers provides a number of services. The service providers, which is called as cloud service providers, CSP. So as there are a number of cloud service providers, but we are learning about Azure and AWS. The reason behind this is nothing but these are the two cloud service providers who occupied more than 50% of a market. Okay. So we are each and every cloud is majorly based on four service modules, sorry, three service modules. So there are multiple service models, but these three are a founder, and then after that there are multiple like function as a service, database as a service, desktop as a service, and as well as etc, and like container as a service. Like that you have multiple options, but these are the three basic fundamentals of your service module. That is nothing but infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So what is the infrastructure as a service? So if you talk about an on-prem, you are managing your application, database, security, server software, virtualization, server hardware, storage, and networking. But here in infrastructure, just you need to manage your application, database, security, and your server software. What do you mean by server software? Your operating system. So your operating system and your security settings, that is nothing but you are allowing some ports or are not allowing some ports, that need to be security. And your database, your own data from where the application will fetch your information, and then nothing but it's an application. So this is only managed by an user managed, and rest others is managed by your service providers. That is called as virtualization, your server hardware, your storage, and networking. So that is called as infrastructure as a service. So here I am going to pay for an infrastructure, not for an application. So next is your platform as a service, where you are going to manage only application and database. Why? Because you are writing a different types of codes on different types of languages by using a different types of code languages. So that is the program is going to be built, that is in the form of an application, and the application will get published by using your hardware, that is by using your cloud services. So that are nothing but your software, or your software server software, virtualization, server hardware, storage, networking, and security. So entire thing is managed by your service provider, cloud service provider. The you are only managing your codes, and you are only managing your database, which has been fetched from your application. So like this you have a different application and database services, where it's nothing but platform as a services. Then the the service model is nothing but SaaS, software as a service. So these are these software as a service. What is this software as a service? So this software as a service we are using in our day-to-day lives. So let me take, you are using a Gmail. So what do you mean by Gmail? So Gmail is Gmail or Outlook mail, your Hotmail, or whatever it may be. So you have separate software, you are going to access a separate software, and that software is completely isolated to you only with the name of a username and password. So the data which you have stored in your email, then it will be visible to you until and unless you won't provide an authentication. So it's nothing but a software as a service. So a software will be provided as a service, and the customers are using an email accounts. So email accounts is nothing but it's a software. So are you paying anything for your email? No, right? So that emails are free of cost, right? So you are not paying a single rupee for building an email. If I say, like, you need to pay some $500 or $100 for one email account. How many people will going to create multiple emails? Like in my scenario, like I use n number of email addresses. I created n number of email addresses. I don't know even remember the username. They even does not remember the passwords of email addresses also. I created a n number of email addresses. If my service provider or my cloud provider says no, you for each and one email address you require to pay $10, at least $10, will I create an email addresses? No, I'm not going to create multiple email addresses. Why? Because I am paying it. So these are nothing but these are the softwares which are free of cost. You are not going to pay anything for the storage, like you are using the storage, but you are not paying anything, like you are using around 15 GB of storage of your emails, but you are not paying it for that. So that is nothing but your software as a service. Let us see some examples. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS delivers the virtual computing resources over the internet. Users can rent virtual machines, storage, and networking infrastructure, allowing for easy scalability without investing a physical hardware. And examples are your AWS EC2 and Azure Virtual Machine. So the people, those who have already gone through the course of AWS EC2 instance, so in the same fashion, we are now onwards we are going to discuss about Azure VM. We are going to say it as Azure Virtual Machine or AVM. So it's nothing but virtual machine we can say. So advantages of IaaS is nothing but reducing in capital infrastructure, why you need not to invest or you need not to create a huge capital amount, and increase the scalability, reliability, and supportability. As I said, you can automatically increase your compute capability based upon your scaling the resources in and out, and like increase the resources. IaaS helps you to scaling the resources around the globe and improve your business by using that. By using an IaaS, just you can concentrate on a business rather than concentrating on your infrastructure. Just you can concentrate on your business, and you can grow your business as much as possible. Okay. Next has nothing but platform as a service. It's nothing but it's a platform as a service. As I said, it's a tool or which is an software tool or coding tool which interacts with your hardware, and it build a platform for you to run your application, and your applications are running it, and your data, and it is linked with your database where the database is accessing your services. Okay. So advantages of PaaS is nothing but it's fast deployment and cost efficiency and automatic scaling and built-in security and multi-platform supportable. So it has multiple. So it has multi-platform supports, and it's very advantage. So it's faster to deploy. So it's nothing. Just you need to run your code. You use your code language and run the code, and you can start running your application. Okay. SaaS as a services, like I said, so it's a software program. It provides a cloud services and made available as a service or utility or a util. So SaaS offers software applications on a subscription basis, access via web browser. Applications are created and hosted by a provider in a multi-talent modes. So this is an interview point of a question. So SaaS supports and multi-tenant mode. So what do you mean by multi-tenant? Multi-tenant is nothing but uh, accessing a single resource. A multiple users are accessing a single services with a isolated network. That's called as your multi-tenant. So tenant is nothing but a customer. Multi is nothing but more customers. So multiple customers are accessing a single service with an isolated network. Okay. So that is nothing but Microsoft 365, Gmail, ServiceNow, Salesforce. Like that, you have a number of tools. Like ServiceNow is a cloud-based tool where it is used for your ticketing and ticketing tool, which is also called as your ticketing tool. Yeah. So advantages of SaaS, it's a cost efficient and easy of use, automatic updates, scalability and accessibility and scalability. So we have, if next concept is nothing but we have a different types of modules for your cloud. One is called as public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, multi-cloud, and hybrid multi-cloud. Nowadays, the popular and the very famous cloud is multi-cloud. What is a multi-cloud? First of all, going for a multi-cloud, we will understand what is a public cloud and what is a private cloud. So public cloud are the cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, and Alibaba, and you can call as Oracle, or you can call as Google Cloud. All these are called as a public cloud, which is available for all the public from the world. Any user can create a new account and can start the services. So these are a service providers who provides cloud infrastructure to all the users or to all the customers in the world. It's called as your public cloud. And what do you mean by private cloud? So private cloud is nothing but it's an isolated network between your company and your cloud environment. For this, I can take an example of your Geo network. So everyone, I think most probably everyone, most of them are using a Geo. And when you open the Geo app, you can see Geo Cloud. Okay, what is this Geo Cloud? So Geo itself has its own cloud environment where he's using this cloud environment for their customers. So it's nothing but it's a private cloud. So it's a private cloud for a Geo. So Geo is hosting their services. Maybe he has purchased or he has taken a separate area in a public cloud. Maybe he has approached to Microsoft and he asked to Microsoft to provide him a separate and isolated area in a public cloud. So okay, he has created his own network. He has created his own virtual private network in a public cloud, and that will be accessed by only Geo. Then it is called as private cloud. So then it's nothing but we will discuss about an hybrid cloud. This is a public cloud shared by multiple companies, and we have a private cloud. So company A and company A's private cloud, and you have a hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but a public channel and your on-prem. So like for example, I have some servers which are still some applications which are still running on your my data physical data centers which has been not migrated at all. Till now they have not migrated out. Why? Because there are some dependencies in a cloud. If there are some dependencies and they have not migrated, then I start managing my infrastructure on-prem also. So you once you establish a connectivity between your on-prem and your public cloud, then it's called as your hybrid cloud or hybrid network. So this is also most of the companies are still using it, which we are calling as hybrid environment. And then next we are having a multi-cloud. So multi-cloud is nothing but so any company uses more than one public cloud service providers. Like for example, in my company I use AWS and Azure. So you are also learning an AWS and Azure is nothing but you are also going to become as a multi-cloud administrator. So multi-cloud is nothing but you are learning a multi-cloud and you are going to deploy the services in more than one cloud service providers. So that is nothing but your multi-cloud environment. And hybrid multi-cloud is nothing but combination of your on-prem and your public cloud. So if you have more than one public cloud, like I am using an Azure and AWS, as well as I am also using an on-prem environment, then it is called as your hybrid multi-cloud. So like this, we have a different types of cloud modules, and we have a different types of what you can say different types of cloud modules, and we have service modules. So these are the two main concepts of our cloud computing. So cloud modules and service modules. Next are like benefits of a cloud service providers. So faster time to market, scalability and flexible, cost saving, better collaboration, and advanced security and data loss prevention. So there is a 0.0 data loss prevention, and he provide an IMA, and by using an identity and access management and security information and event management, a high-end security has been provided by all the service providers, that is cloud service provider. And better collaboration is nothing but cloud store enable used to make data available anywhere you are, anytime you need it. And cost saving, pay only for the resources you actually use, that is called as pay as you go model. So by using a pay as you go model, you can utilize, or you can only use the resources which you are going to pay. Okay. So next is scalability and flexibility. So you can quickly scale resources and storage to meet the business demand without having to invest in a physical infrastructure. Okay. Yeah. Now let okay. Till now we have discussed about a service providers. What are the service providers, and what we need to understand about the service providers, and what is the cloud service modules and cloud modules. So that we have discussed, and now we will discuss about an Azure. So why we are concentrating now, why we are learning an Azure, what are the advantages of an Azure. So here I can say Microsoft Azure is a public cloud computing platform that provides a range of cloud services for computing, storage, and networking. So the platform is a cost efficient and majority used by various IT companies for its improved infrastructure. And the major important thing here is there are 54 Azure data centers spread around the globe. So now this number has increased, and intersidely 80% of front-end 500 companies use Azure services for their cloud computing needs. So there are few more benefits of your um so overall, it's 3,50,000 organizations are using an Azure, right, with 14.2% year over increase in the customer base, and like 85 to 95% of Fortune 500 companies rely on Azure to power their mission critical workloads, and Azure operates in 60 plus regions and 140 countries. So this is a very good and big geographical footprint. I can say from 140 countries, Azure has as data centers. So like operates overall 300 plus physical data centers globally. So they have more than 300 plus physical data centers which works globally, and real world Azure uptime average is nothing but as per the real time. So it's 99.995. So support point to point to five is a downtime. So supports by zone redundancy storage and geo replication. So geographical replication, you can replicate your data between one geographical area to another geographical area, and from one zone to another zone. And 70% of small companies that moved to the cloud platform like Azure were able to invest in their companies. So Azure users save up to 49% of infrastructure cost compared to on-prem. So this is one of the major benefit of the companies, those who are moving to an Azure platform. So here we are learning about multi-cloud, that is called as AWS and Azure. Here I want to concentrate on two different topics. Like we have a two famous and popular operating systems. One is called as Linux and another is called as Windows, right? So Linux is an open source, and Windows is a Microsoft proprietary. Okay. Whereas if you talk about an open source, it's nothing but you can deploy the code and you can run and then you can execute it. So AWS is built on a platform of Linux. there is a Linux platform. On top of it, the AWS infrastructure. AWS has built their infrastructure based on the Linux platform, whereas Azure has built their infrastructure based on Windows platform. So the customers, if I say, I in my organization I use 70% of Linux operating system and 30% of Windows operating system, then I need to go with AWS. And if I say 70% of Windows operating system, 30% of Linux operating system, then definitely I will be going with an Azure. Okay. So like this, we have differentiated this, and why the 49% of cost is getting reduced here. The Microsoft places an offer to all the customers, those who want to migrate their servers to an Azure environment. The Microsoft has started providing a free server license. What do you mean by free server license? So for example, a company has his own software license which is purchased in the month of April, and he has purchase it for next 3 years. Then once if you want to migrate to cloud, he can use the same software license with next 3 years. He need not to purchase any new software or new license in the new environment. So this made most of the people in the real world to shifting to the Azure environment. So that's the reason why very uh, Azure has started launched the services in the year of 2010. Within a fraction of 15 years, it has reached around 28% of a global market. Whereas AWS started the journey in the year of 2012, sorry, 2006. In the year of 2006, almost 20 years. Now still they are 33%. Okay, like that. So, and as per the survey and uh, as per the survey report, latest report, Microsoft provides a 53,000 AI tools in their cloud platform. So Microsoft is going to provide 53,000 tools, AI tools, that uh, if once this is started, then definitely Microsoft will boom their market. Okay? So as well as Microsoft spends $1 billion annually and 20 billion over 5 years to enhance their cybersecurity, and more than 41,000 certificate products are certificate products and services which has been placed in your marketplace. So most used services are virtual machine, Cosmo DB, Azure AD, SQL, Kubernetes, DevOps, and functions. Okay, like this, you have a more benefits on Azure. Okay. And now we are going to learn about a Microsoft Certified Azure Administration Associate course. So just we will be start digging into that. And okay. So do you have any queries till now? Okay. Thanks, Firasat. So we will start up our new topic. Yes. If you have any queries, Yes, Azure Cloud is based on virtualization. Yes, as someone asked already about practicals. Yes, yes, Israr. We have a practical sessions also. So we I provides a training 70-30 module where we will be having a 70% of practical session and 30% of theoretical session. No, other like cloud services are charged based upon the services, not on the user front. So what are the services you are using that will be get charged. Yes, Israr. Like yes, we will be doing a practical sessions. So I will be in a tomorrow class. In a next class, we will be creating an AWS free tier account. The fundamental. No, I have not yet completed the fundamental. Like fundamental. Sorry, fundamental is nothing but it's a basic things to be understand. No, no, no. Azure fundamentals. Do you complete fundamentals? Azure fundamentals. Yes, we will be covering a complete Azure fundamental course, and apart and as per that, after completion of Azure fundamentals, we also cover some associate level course also. But it's nothing but we are mixing both the things like fundamentals and uh, system Azure Administrator course. So to understand, to make you understand very easily. So rather than discussing about the fundamentals and going again with an administrative console, then it will be a little bit difficult for you to understand. So as there are most of the students those who are from a non-IT background, so for them it will be very much difficult to understand how the process steps will be going forward. So here, uh, if all done with your queries and questions, then I can move on to the next topic. So today we will be discussing about Azure architecture, regions, availability zone, and resource group. Okay, right. So today we will be discussing about an Azure architecture and Azure resource group and Azure availability zones and Azure regions. So as what do you mean by region and what do you mean by availability zones and what do you mean by a resource group? So in this, I can take an example. Just let So Azure architecture is based on three pillars that is called as uh, regions, availability zones, and resources. So resource group. If I talk about this, this is nothing but my and a region. What do you mean by region? A region is nothing but it's a geographical area, a geographical location where my physical data center is hosted. Let me take an example. Like this is an India. It's a geographical location of my India. Let me name it as this is my India. Okay. So this is my one geographical location, or you can call as which is also called as my region. India is my region. For example, I'm taking an example. Okay. Okay. I can take India as a region, and I am in a one region. In a one region, I have three availability zones. Each and every region have multiple availability zones. The minimum is 3 and maximum is 6. So it depends. Like in India, I have three. In India, we have a three availability zones. I talk, so I can name it as I'm taking an example. Just don't think like don't say that, sir. You said about India is a one region, and you have Hyderabad and Calcutta and Delhi is a different region. But when once you goes to the lab, you will see Hyderabad is a one region and Delhi is one another region and Kolkata is another region. So like that, you will see over there. So just for the example, for your easy understanding, I am taking this as a region to understand whether India will be a one region and states will be a your availability zones. Okay, Hyderabad, Delhi. Like this, you have three availability zones, and that availability zones are a part of one region. And here, this is a concept which also there in your AWS. But here we have a new concept here. Azure has a new concept called as a resource group. A resource group, a separate group within your one availability zone. So this group, which called as resource group, which contains all the resource information. Okay, which contains a resource group. Resource group contains your entire information of your resources. For example, if I created a virtual machine or if I created a VM, then I need to select a resource group, so that so all the related virtual machine, like what do you require? You require a network interface card, you require a subnet, and you require an storage, and you require a public IP. So everything comes under one resource group. So at the time of deletion or at the time of modification, my moving my resources, then it will be easy for me to delete only a resource group. Then the entire resources which are running into a resource group will be get deleted or get cleared. So resource group is nothing but a collection of resources where the services are running. So if you can delete if you delete any resource group, it means that you have deleted the services. Now first, once the Microsoft has launched this was a good option and good future with everybody has liked it. And but after some time, Microsoft feels that there are some difficulties or challenges in resource group. Why? Because some users, they are deleting a resource group and they are deleting a production related sites also. So why? Because the resource group contains a collection of resources, and once if you delete the resource group, your entire resources will be get deleted. So to overcome this thing, Microsoft has launched an update saying a resource group locker. So you can create a locker where the resource group will be get locked, and the no resources will be get deleted until and unless you remove the locker. So that is called as resource group locker. So that also we will see how we are going to configure the resource group locker in the resource groups. And is it clear, right? So it's a region and availability zones, which is called as high availability. Okay, these are called as your availability zones. So these are your availability zones where Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai. So where you can host your resources, and these resource group can be part of Hyderabad, Delhi, and Mumbai. So whatever it may be the availability zones, so resource group can be a part of all the availability zones. Yeah. So let us go to the Microsoft side and see what are how many availability zones and how many regions does Microsoft have. Okay. See, you have Azure region list now. It goes on, it goes on, goes on, goes on. Like see, you have So symbol, if you can see this symbol, it's nothing but coming soon, and this region is access restricted to support specific customer scenario such as in-country region. Okay, so like that, if you have an Australia Central, and here you can see Australia Central 2, where it has been restricted for an Australian government. So Australian government is using this region so that they can host their restricted sites. So no other customer can host their services in Australia Central. So we have an Australia East, Australia Southeast, and Austin East, and Australia East also coming up now. And now if you can go for the Brazil South, and you have a Brazil Southeast, French South, and Germany North, which are restricted areas. You have a Poland, Qatar Center, and you have a South Africa West, South India, and South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Spain Central, Switzerland, UAE, and UAE North, South, UK South, and West Europe, West India, West US, West US 2, and West US 3. We have East US also, right? Yeah, East US and East US 2. So like that, you have a multiple regions, Azure regions list, and is there next is nothing but we need to identify the availability zones. Okay, so yeah. So this is one Azure region, and we have another Azure region, like we have an Azure region 3 and Azure region 4. So you have a multiple availability zone 1, 2, and 3, and availability zone 1, 2, and 3 in multiple regions. And in Azure region 3, you have only one data center. You don't have multiple availability zones. So yeah. So availability zones and Azure updates. So availability zones are nothing but a part of, as we discussed. So these are a multiple availability zones. Under a region, there are a multiple availability zones, and under that availability zones, there are a resource groups which are using to host your services. Every time Microsoft changes their websites, here he used to provide an availability zone information, but right now it's not there. Issues. So these are solutions which has been provided by Microsoft that we will be discussing tomorrow. Like what are the solutions which has been provided by Microsoft, and we will also see the availability zones by logging into the console. So go to the Microsoft website page. and from here you can create your new to Azure, get started, and you can create your new account. Don't do it right now. Tomorrow we will do it parallelly, so that you all everyone will create an free Azure account. Okay. So we will end up the session here today. So we will continue it tomorrow. If you have any doubts, just let me know. Yes, Azure provides a resource group like um, in AWS there is a concept called as a resource group, but there are the resource groups also available in the, AWS, but that is for your patching and patching your servers, or to patch your servers we are using a resource group. But in AWS there are individual services or individual things, but here in a Microsoft it's which are clubbed in a single group called as resource group. Okay, chalo, we will end up the session today, and inshallah we will meet tomorrow with some more new topics. Okay, do you have any doubts or any queries? And I request all of them to join the session at exactly by 9:45, 1 or 2 minutes maybe. Okay, but make sure you maintain the correct timings. Okay, okay, thanks all, thanks everyone, thanks for attending the session. Bye.